One has 90,000 square feet of floor space, 20 offices, a machine shop with a 10-ton crane, and is in the city of Negaunee. It's the Tracy Mine property. For 10 years now, the Tracy Mine property has stood idle, the victim of vandals and the elements. Now Cleveland Cliffs would like to sell the property. The asking price, $266,000, which real estate agent Glenn Rigdon says is a bargain.
Well, we feel that the price is very reasonable. It was set by Cleveland Cliffs Iron Company, $266,000. We feel on a square footage basis is tremendously reasonable.
Rigdon says to build a facility like the main building would be quite an expensive proposition today, costing more than $3 million. He says because of the sheer size, it would take quite a large company to use the place efficiently.
It's for somebody who has a use. If you don't have a use, it would be ridiculous to spend your money. The operation of it would be substantial. We've had a couple of bites, no commitments, just lookers so far.
Rigdon says Cliff's main reasons for selling the Tracy Mine property are to reduce any potential liability problems and to trim its taxes. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Negaunee. Triple-digit gas prices are back, and they probably won't be going away in the near future. Gasoline prices in the Marquette area have risen an average of 8 cents a gallon in the past 2 weeks. Some stations get as much as 12 cents a gallon more than they did just a month ago.
Why is it going up? They tell me there's a glut of oil in the world.
Gas station owners have a simple answer. More people are traveling.
Yeah, every summer. It's the old story of supply and demand.
Well, I think it's terrible because prices are supposed to go down. I've been reading everywhere they're going to go down. For gas going up 10 cents in 1 week, somebody's making some money someplace.
Other people buying gas haven't paid much attention.
We just need gas. I wasn't paying attention when I came in. If I had, I'd probably have said that was quite expensive, yeah.
Gasoline retailers say prices have probably peaked out in the Marquette area and say if any further increases take place, they're likely to happen soon. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette. Say the word jobs in Iron County and you're bound to get people to listen. More than 40 such people listened to officers from the Department of Corrections last night in Iron County. The DOC came to talk about employment opportunities that would be created by a proposed minimum security prison camp.
When the camp opens, there'll be about 20 positions that will be entry-level positions. Of those 20 positions, approximately 2/3 will be from the local area.
Though opposition to the prison camp remains, no negative words were spoken here.
My husband and I are both supporters of the proposed prison camp in Iron River Township, and we came tonight in order to get additional information on the possibility of the jobs.
Another area resident spoke of Iron County's high unemployment rate and says he'd like some job security.
Looking for a decent job, and I like a full-time job, and always looking for something in that type of thing. And of course, I have a background in law enforcement, and I'm interested in this type of thing.
Persons interested in prison camp work must take 15 credit hours of corrections courses and score well on a civil service exam. Instead of having Iron County residents travel to the classes, there's a good chance the classes will be coming to them.
We will have representatives from Northern Michigan University and or Gogebic Community College come to Iron County and teach the necessary course prerequisites to our citizens here.
After being hired, the DOC requires 4 to 16 weeks training, which is paid for by the state. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Iron County. Trucks and traffic. Those are the concerns addressed by the Iron Mountain City Council last night as they voted in favor of a US 2 bypass. The proposed bypass would go approximately from the M95 junction around Lake Antoine and would link back up with US 2 near Quinnipiac. Truckers think the bypass is a good idea.
I think the best solution to the problem in Iron Mountain downtown will be a bypass.
Many business owners along US 2 agree, saying they'd like another route for the trucks.
Occasionally we do get complaints of the noise, especially being on a hill. It may or may not affect our business personally, but I think overall it's going to positively affect the area.
Many business owners along US 2 are pleased with the City Council's decision to go ahead with the bypass. But you can't please all of the people all of the time.
I think a bypass would adversely affect our business in downtown Iron Mountain. It would have the effect of channeling some of the tourist trade that we experience in the summertime and wintertime alike away from the downtown Iron Mountain area.
A bypass always hurts a city. All it aids is those that are going through.
Andrini favors a different proposal, creating 2 one-way corridors through downtown.
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea, and we're actually trying to incorporate that in with it.
The $6 million bypass needs state approval, and it would be an estimated 6 years before the project is completed. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Iron Mountain. Rising food prices have arrived, and you can blame it on the drought. Area grocers say the drought is beginning to cause a real food shortage, unlike the artificial shortage that pushed grocery prices up in the 1970s. The first place consumers are noticing the effects of the drought is right here in the produce aisle. Retailers say in addition to rising prices, it's getting harder to find quality produce.
There's a big increase in prices coming. Produce sales from day-to-day prices are changing. Sweet corn, as an example, is really moving up fast. Apples that were, example, 5-pound bag, $2.89 yesterday are up to $4.79 today. You wonder how prices can change that quick, but that's what it is, an anticipation of what they're going to get later in the fall when they do pick apples.
Items not rising in price include meats and canned goods. One grocer says some people are stocking up on canned goods now, perhaps a bit early.
A lot of it is due to the scare. You know, the people see the drought and they get scared that the price is going to go up, so they're going out and protecting themselves, covering themselves, so to speak. And I'm going to be able to maintain my price for quite a while yet. We shouldn't see the effects of that for another maybe 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months even.
Some consumers say if prices get out of line, they'll change their shopping habits.
If something's higher, I won't get it.
Others aren't too worried about rising prices.
I don't pay that much attention. We get paid and I shop.
Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette County. Nothing quenches thirst like a good long drink of water, but who decides what goes into that water? Iron Mountain Water Superintendent Kenneth Pugh thinks voters should decide and not the City Council. Though Pugh maintains he's neutral, he's involved in a petition drive to let voters decide whether fluoride should be added to Iron Mountain's water.
Our petition is worded so that it sounds like we're totally against it, but that has to be that way in order to put it on the ballot.
Pugh says voters have turned down fluoridation twice in the past and thinks they'll do it again.
Why should just 4 people on the city council be able to do everything? Same thing with the commissioners. They think they can run the town. You know, people should run the town. People pay the taxes, not just 3-4 people in this town. And that's the way it's doing in this town. This town, to me, stinks.
Iron Mountain's water supply currently undergoes no chemical treatments, coming straight from the well to taps throughout the city. Petition signers want to keep it that way, but there's another point of view.
Only 30% of the population actually see a dentist regularly, and with that, we're not getting the fluoride into their systems. The great thing about fluoridating a water supply is it's really non-discriminatory. People of all social, economical dementors, they all are benefited equally.
In the past 2 weeks, nearly 450 petition signatures have been collected. 1,050 are needed by July 27th to put water fluoridation on the ballot. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Iron Mountain. It can be tough trying to start a new career when you're 55 or older, but Gwen Mangini knew where to get help. She turned to the New Start Job Center.
Well, I went up to New Start because I knew that they knew the people that would hire 55 and older. I didn't even go out on my own. I was kind of afraid to go out on my own. I really was. And this way, we knew the businesses that would take older people.
Employers offering work to New Start applicants are provided with a $500 hiring incentive and get a quality employee in the deal.
Older workers have been very reliable, and they've taken care of the store as if it were their own. We're happy with them.
Convenience stores aren't the only places looking to hire people 55 and older. New Start has placed nearly 130 people in jobs ranging from sales to telemarketing. New Start also places secretaries, receptionists, and has a separate placement program for those between the ages of 45 and 55.
I think employers tend to look at age and hesitate.
It's important for me to get out of the house once in a while, housework, and get kind of dull. talking to the dog. I'd rather get out and talk to people.
Without a doubt, I would recommend it for anyone that is looking for a job, even if it's only part-time.
Then you have to have some experience, and didn't have the experience of getting out and going and finding a job.
New Start currently serves 7 counties in the western Upper Peninsula. For more information on New Start, call 779-1512. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Dickinson County. Campers heading to the Upper Peninsula state parks are being greeted by these signs.
There will be no campfires or any open fires in the parks until further notice. And this includes charcoal grills.
DNR Director David Hales issued the ban on campfires yesterday, but it doesn't appear to be dampening the spirits of campers at Van Riper State Park.
We'll sit around and talk, have a good time, play cards maybe, games.
Campers aren't the only ones affected by the DNR's decision.
We are banning off-road vehicles from state land in the Upper Peninsula.
Department of Natural Resources Director David Hales blames ATVs for 2 fires in the UP, including the one in Rapid River from nearly 2 weeks ago. But ATV dealers are quick to point out that their products are equipped with U.S. Forest Service approved spark arresters, and that an ATV starting a fire is highly unlikely.
It's stamped right in the exhaust system. In fact, most all the machines today are U.S. Forest approved.
Lusk disagrees with Nelson, though, and says ATVs could be responsible either directly or indirectly.
One difficulty is from machines that their spark arresters have either been removed or are inoperative for whatever reason. And the second reason is that we have had fires caused by arsonists that are using all-terrain vehicles to gain access to state lands.
The DNR is trying to decide whether to extend the ban to the Lower Peninsula as well. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette County. The state of Michigan is taking legislative aim at trucks. A pack of truck safety bills would change a lot of things, including what lanes trucks could use. One bill would limit trucks to the far right lane only on roadways where 3 or more lanes go in the same direction.
The Upper Peninsula does not have any 3-lane roadways, and it will not affect us.
The state police support the right lane only for trucks bill, as well as a bill to set a maximum rear bumper height at 22 inches. Even truckers think that's a good idea.
I would say that it's a preventive. It could help prevent damage on an automobile from going underneath. Might even save a life, I don't know.
Another bill in the package would require trucks hauling gravel to have a tarp covering their load. The bill is designed to keep gravel from falling out and damaging vehicles behind open trucks. Steve Blondow of Blondow Trucking says the current law requires that gravel not be piled within 6 inches of the top. He says that law works well. Steve Blondow declined to be interviewed on camera, but he said he'd need to purchase about 40 tarps if the proposed legislation were to become law. The tarps cost about $200 a piece, but when you add the cost of labor for putting the tarps on and off, it's a much more costly proposition. The legislation has been sent to the state Senate and awaits committee action. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette County. Summertime means sunshine, summertime means heat, and most assuredly, summertime means road construction. Construction on this stretch of US 41 and M28 began last fall. It isn't scheduled to be completed until August, but the good news is these signs are coming down early.
Hopefully, we should make it by the end of next week if nothing comes in our way, weather-wise or breakdowns or what have you. So I would say end of next week it's going to look real good.
Motorists coping with the 20-mile project west of Ishpeming react in different ways. Some take it quite well.
Oh, heck, this is nothing, God. It's good. This road needed work, and these guys doing a terrific job. So a little slowdown like this doesn't hurt anybody. We have a lot of time.
Others appear more disgruntled, and some are just happy to get going again.
Finally, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does the road crew ever hear it from griping motorists?
Yes, several, when we try to be as nice as we can to them, but once in a while it's a little tough. They get a little unruly.
If the delays seem a little longer lately, that's because of the heat. Milan says when it's real hot, the new blacktop doesn't cool as fast, and drivers have to stay off the roads longer. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, west of Ishpeming. It's a blend of Star Wars technology along with old-fashioned machinery, hydraulics, and electronics. It's laser-guided and built in the Upper Peninsula. It's the Somero 240 Laser Screed, a new machine used for spreading concrete to exact specifications. The Laser Screed is the brainchild of Dave Somero, who used to spread concrete with 2x4s.
We're in the floor business since 1974, concrete floors, placing and finishing. And after getting a lot of sore backs, working hard, we figured there had to be a better way.
The next step was to get the idea on paper, produce a prototype, and try it out.
The machine itself was fairly straightforward, being mechanical and hydraulic and electrical, but this is the first time I'd had an opportunity to work with the laser hardware, which was quite interesting, and we're still learning things about that.
The Laser Screed is used to construct warehouse floors where taller forklifts need a level surface to avoid tipping over. Somero Enterprises currently employs about a dozen people. There's already talk of expansion here at Somero Enterprises. In fact, the current plant isn't large enough, and some of the work is being done outside. Dave Somero says if orders for the high-tech concrete spreader continue, he'll need more space. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, South Range. Statewide gasoline prices have been declining lately. AAA of Michigan says the average price for a gallon of gasoline is down more than 3 cents in the past 2 months. Stations in Marquette have reflected that downward trend, but watch for a new trend. Local gas station owners are paying more for the gas that they buy, but have yet to raise the prices here. But eroding profit margins will probably change that, and those little numbers will start flying by just a bit faster.
If the trend stays the same, they can expect probably an increase, maybe a couple cents a gallon. I can't see much more than that, though.
How do people passing through Marquette feel about gas prices here? Well, it depends on where they came from.
In Ontario and Nova Scotia and most of New Brunswick, the prices run about $1.60 American for an American gallon. And in Quebec, as usual, it's quite a bit higher, about $1.80 a gallon.
But south of Michigan, the story's different.
Much cheaper. It's running about 89 when I left, or less. Some places are cheaper.
A downstate motorist says gas is cheaper at home, too, and the pennies can add up fast when it takes 80 gallons to fill her up.
I'm going to leave you a little money here, about $76 worth. So, trying to help the economy up there.
Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette. Anglers looking to wet a line in Dickinson County have a new hotspot. The $20,000 Lake Antoine Fishing Pier is the work of the Michigan Department of Natural Resources and the Dickinson County chapter of Wildlife Unlimited. The floating pier is expected to attract visiting anglers as well as the locals.
We have quite a large influx of tourists that stay at Lake Antoine at the campgrounds and some of the other campgrounds here, and most of them are looking for good fishing places, and when word gets around that this is here, I'm sure it's going to make some effect.
The new pier is expected to see heavy fishing pressure, but the DNR is attracting fish to the new structure as well as anglers.
We do have plans this coming winter to try to put some various pieces of structure or devices that will concentrate fish near this pier to try to hold more fish near it.
The Lake Antoine Pier is an excellent spot for families with children because it's located away from busy roads along the lake.
If you drive the road around Lake Antoine, you can see everybody fishing from the road. This gives a place for a tranquil area where somebody can go fish.
The Dickinson County chapter of Wildlife Unlimited also has plans to use the floating pier during Kids Fishing Day. The Lake Antoine Fishing Pier isn't just for kids, though. The whole public's being encouraged to use it, including senior citizens, the handicapped, and news reporters. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Iron Mountain. 88-year-old Edward Quinn lives at home with a little help from his home care specialist, Don Olson.
Then I get the dishes done and make him a lunch for some soup.
Yeah.
And then he has a sandwich and some tomatoes.
I think it's a lot better than a nursing home. For me, I don't know about other people.
The Marquette County Commission on Aging provides funds for senior services, including home care for the elderly. In 1987, Marquette County provided 43% of the Commission on Aging's funds. Now the county is putting the issue of senior services before voters in the form of a millage election known as Proposal A for Aging. At a press conference this morning, supporters of the millage broke down the cost of the .35 mil request. Owners of a $40,000 home would pay $7 per year. The Commission on Aging claims it saves taxpayers money as well by serving more than 7,000 people for the cost of placing 10 people in a nursing home. In addition to providing funds for in-home care services, the Marquette County Commission on Aging also provides funding for the county's 4 senior citizen centers, which also keep people from entering nursing homes. Some are displeased with the county's decision to put senior services funding before voters and think the program should be continued with money from the county's general fund.
I don't think that they have to put up an essential program and kind of hold a gun to the head of the voters to say, if we don't get additional funds, we're going to cut out a program that everybody wants.
The fate of senior services will be decided on August 2nd. Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Marquette County. Fireworks will soon be filling the evening skies of the Upper Peninsula, but who picks up the tab on these modern-day light shows? In Negaunee, donations are collected to pay for the Teal Lake fireworks. Problem is, people haven't been as generous this year, and time is running out.
Well, we're starting to be a little panicky right now. We've only had 11% returns, totaling over $3,000, and we're looking for a good $5,000 or $6,000 fireworks. We have $1,600 from last year, so right now we're working on around $4,200, and we need another $800 minimum.
Koski says of 3,200 letters sent out requesting contributions, only 359 people have responded. Koski says there's still time to make a donation towards what he considers the best fireworks north of Green Bay.
And if each one gave $2 or $3 even, we'd definitely make it with no problem.
While Negaunee is still doing some last-minute fundraising, Ishpeming has things pretty much set.
Our fireworks are already delivered and ready to go. We have them in storage.
Skoog says the Ishpeming fireworks rely on fundraising events held year-round. That includes concession sales at the Toboggan Slide, a March music festival, and the sale of Independence Day buttons. Skoog says barring any unforeseen expenses, the finances are all set, and he's just waiting for the fun to begin.
So things are shaping up really well. We're hoping for good weather and a good crowd.
Nick Sawyer, TV6 News, Ishpeming.